It's that time of the week again. New comic book day will be here before you know it. So let's take a look at what's on the pull list. Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. I'm BJ Kicks, and this is the pull list. It's my weekly video where I tell you what's on my pull list, what's on the chopping block, and what's on the maybe list. This is technically my weekly comic review show because this is where I tell you how I feel about the series that I'm buying every single week. And of course, I like to start with the books that I'm most excited for in the upcoming week. This Wednesday, March 1st, 2023. Not a ton of titles on the pull list. It's actually a light week for me, which is great because I definitely went over budget last week with the Darkwing Duck covers. So great, much, what's the word? I don't know. I'm excited to have this light week, much needed. Anyway, the book I'm most excited for this week is Action Comics issue 1052 from DC Comics, written by Philip Kennedy Johnson. If I'm not mistaken, the art is by Rafa Sandoval, which is, he's a great artist, and I kind of miss him on the Black Adam title. But anyway, I mean, if I had to choose between the two titles I'd want him on, I gotta say Action Comics is probably the one. But anyway, Action Comics 1052. Philip Kennedy Johnson continuing the story that he's been telling basically since issue 1048 or so. Ever since Superman came back from Warworld, they've been setting up a nice big combat between him and Metallo, giving Metallo a very compelling reason to come back out of supervillain retirement. And it's been good. It's been really good, especially now that we've got the Super Twins in Metropolis. What I'm enjoying about this, or anticipating about this, is seeing the Superman family in action, no pun intended. But in the Superman #1 title last week, we got it firmly established that Clark is back in Metropolis and he's back, doing his crime fighting thing. And there's a whole different conflict between he and Lex Luthor. But also, while he's dealing with that, he and his family have also got to deal with the looming threat, the immediate impending threat, and that is Metallo. And I'm excited to get to some action in this issue. So, Philip Kennedy Johnson's Action Comics 1052 is at the top of my reading pile this week. It's got a cover price of $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And since we're talking about DC Comics, let's go ahead down the DC pull list with Batman vs. Robin, issue #5. Batman vs. Robin, written by Mark Waid, with art by Mahmoud Asrar. I've been loving Batman vs. Robin, but I can't lie. Ever since issue, 4 of Batman vs. Robin, we kind of got launched into the Lazarus Planet event. And because it was basically an anthology event, I didn't really read it. I read the Lazarus Planet Alpha. I bought the Omega, haven't touched it. And this is now the epilogue to the Lazarus Planet event. So what I am hoping is that it kind of puts a neat little bow on Lazarus Planet, even though I didn't read it. Hopefully they'll kind of spoon feed a little bit of what happened, and we get back to what I thought was interesting about this series in the first place, and that was a pretty cool examination of the relationship between Bruce and his son Damian, which they've been teasing that this goes all the way back to the Teen Titans issue where Damian quit the team. So does this make Damian Robin once again? Is he going to replace Tim Drake in the Chip Zdarsky run? Probably not. But it's going to be fun to see. I like Damian, so I'm down for this book. Batman vs. Robin, issue 5. It's got a cover price of $5.99. I'm going to grab the cover A. And the last book on the DC Comics pull list this week is Detective Comics, issue 1069. Detective Comics, written by Ram V. I couldn't tell you who's on the art. I could look it up. Dexter Soy. Dexter Soy is on art, and I love Dexter Soy art, so I should probably get back current with Detective Comics. But anyway, ever since Chip Zdarsky took over the main Batman title, Detective has just kind of been on the back burner for me. I never will stop pulling it, but I need to start reading it. So I've heard that it's got some really compelling Two-Face and Mr. Freeze stories, two of my favorite members of the Batman Rogues Gallery. So I definitely need to give Ram V's Detective Comics a chance. So that one's got a cover price of $4.99. I'm going to grab cover A, and that's going to round out the DC books on my pull list. So if I just stick to the list, don't buy any extras or whatever, those are going to cost me $16. Just 3 books, $16. Man, let's move on to Marvel, where there's only one book on the pull list this week, and that is X-Force issue 38. X-Force written by Benjamin Percy, who is also writing the Wolverine title, which I finally got all the way caught up on last week. So basically, we've had this sort of conflict going on between the Beast and the rest of the team. And that's mostly been playing out in Wolverine. And that came to a head last week. So if you didn't read Wolverine number 30, read Wolverine 30. But the other thing we've got going on with X-Force is they are facing a very real threat from Xeno, which is the organization that they've been teasing us with since the beginning of the X-Force run in the Dawn of X. So basically what has happened over here? Stupid ads getting my attention on the screen. But anyway, so what's been happening is basically Xeno has made a mutant. If you remember Xeno, they're the organization that like kidnapped Domino, took a skin graft and like made a bunch of Domino clones. Well, they're not just making clones, they're making straight up hybrid mutants. And so they've got a hybrid mutant that's basically an amalgamation of the entire X-Force, which is wild. So last week I got caught up with Wolverine. This week I'm going to get fully caught up with X-Force, and I'm honestly excited to do so. X-Force 38's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. That's the only Marvel book on my pull list, even though there is like a new Spider-Man, was it The Hunting or The Hunted or Haunted? I don't remember. I was going to give it a shot, but then I'm like, probably not. But anyway, only book on my Marvel pull list this week is called X-Force. It's got a cover price of $4. I'm paying $4 for Marvel books. I don't know what I was doing there. Let's move on to the indies where, like the Marvels, there's only one indie book on the pull list, and that is The Walking Dead Deluxe issue 58. 58 issues of The Walking Dead Deluxe. You guys know. It's The Walking Dead presented in color with nice cardstock covers and creator commentary inside. I'm collecting these to make hardcovers. I feel like I say that every 2 weeks because I buy this book every 2 weeks, and I always got to tell you why I'm buying books. So yeah, that's why I'm buying The Walking Dead Deluxe issue 58. As always, I'm getting the David Finch cover A. It's got a cover price of $3.99. Not bad. So the indie total this week is also $4. And again, not a bad week, a very light week, which is helpful. It helps me to get caught up on some of the series that I'm behind on. In this case, that is X-Force, which I'm 2 issues behind on, and Detective Comics, which I'm like 6 issues behind on. I think the last one I read was 1063. So I got some reading to do. I'm excited that it's a light week. It's light on the pockets and light on the reading pile. So I'll be able to get caught up with all the series that I want to get caught up on. What are you reading this week, though? Is it just as light a week for you? I know the big two's not got a lot going on, but there's a lot of indie books coming out. There's a lot of stuff going on. So let me know what's on your pull list down below. And while you're there, go ahead and sign up for our newsletter. It's called This Week in Comics. It's where I'll give you weekly reviews on some of the comics that I picked up this week, as well as recommendations on comics I think you should pre-order ahead of their final order cutoff deadlines each weekend. So go to thisweekincomics.com. Huge thanks to the channel family for making this video and my pull list possible. And I'll see you guys in another video very soon. Until then, stay awesome and make sure you read something dope today. Peace.